Hello and welcome to another Father-Son podcast with me and Forrest. How you doing, man?
Good. This time you didn't mess up the intro.
Yeah, it took me like 4 times, but we didn't
2
mess up the
times.
intro. You make everything sound better than it really is. You gotta stop being so honest on these podcasts. Like, there's the little element of humor that you're leaving out of these. So, ni hao.
Yeah.
That's hello in Chinese, and
Guten Tag.
Guten Tag. Guten Morgen. I forgot how to say good evening. How do you say Happy New Year in Chinese?
新年快乐.
新年快乐.
Or that's just like the wishes, like the good wishes for the new year.
新年快乐. So it's Chinese New Year. How did that go for you?
Good.
Good.
Mhm.
We ate lots of good food at Lala's.
Yeah.
We didn't do a podcast that night. That was last week.
Mhm.
So happy Chinese New Year to everyone that listens to us. Thought we'd shoot that out there.
We watched Spiderverse.
We did watch
Like a
Spiderverse.
week and a half ago.
Yeah, Mom was out of town, and we really didn't do these podcasts because somebody sitting in the co-host
Church
seat
alone.
couldn't get his homework done on time ever.
Yeah.
I can hear you picking your nails on the podcast.
I
That
got
is
it like 2 or 3
terrible.
hours done earlier today.
Yeah, that's good.
That's good. Taking steps.
So what did you think of Into the Spider-Verse?
It was amazing. I loved it. It was great.
I think it might be the best Spider-Man movie I've ever seen. Although I really, really like Homecoming. It's close.
I think Far From Home. No, I'm just kidding. Far From Home is either gonna be stupid or it's gonna be really good.
Yeah, it could be either. But Homecoming was my favorite live-action Spider-Man movie. Into the Spider-Verse was really good. Really, really good.
Best animated portrayal of Spider-Man.
Best animated superhero movie I've ever seen. And I think we've seen every one of them probably.
Above the DC ones?
Oh, yeah. By far. What DC one's even close to that one?
I don't know, but like
None of them are. None of them are close.
yeah, the DC ones are kind of like they're mostly the same. Like they have the same animation style through all of them.
Uh-huh. Into Spider-Verse was amazing. They had every character had like different animation style. Even the Porky Pig Spider-Man had like the really cartoony.
Peter Porker?
Yeah, Peter Porker. He had the super cartoon style. Like I don't know. Like
The whole
old
movie
school.
sounds like really corny, but it's actually really good.
Yeah, it's a really good story. Really good animation.
Yeah.
It's really, really good.
Old Spider-Man was very sad.
Yeah, old Spider-Man was a fat, broken down old man.
Yeah,
That
and
was pretty good.
you watched a Spider-Man die. It was crazy. Oh, we should probably put a huge spoiler warning for Spider-Verse on the title.
Spoiler alert! After we spoiled it, ha 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 ha.
Well, I mean, the
Well, you
Spider.
didn't really spoil too much because
Yeah.
Spider-Man dies like 5 minutes in the movie. So if you're listening, you didn't miss much. Spider-Man dies super early.
Well, Miles Morales Spider-Man.
No, Miles Morales Spider-Man never dies.
Miles Morales is Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Because Miles Morales Spider-Man.
Peter Parker and Miles Morales' world.
I meant-
Spider-Man.
Miles Morales apostrophe Spider-Man. Which means,
Well, I would say that the other Spider-Man is Miles Morales' Spider-Man. The
Oh,
fat
really?
one with the sweatpants.
because like, Miles Morales grew up with the other one.
Yeah, but that's the one that trained him.
Yeah. Well, the other one was going to train him.
So if you didn't see this movie, you have no idea what we're talking about. But it was a really, really, really good movie.
I liked all the Tobey Maguire movie tropes.
Yeah, they made fun of all the Spider-Man. It was really, really well done. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I don't really recommend cartoon movies too much, but if it's still up in the theater, I would go see it. It's probably better at the theater than you'll ever see it at home. It was really, really amazing.
Oh my god. Like the animation style, it was just so telling. Like
You know-
the way that I think drawings can actually maybe portray the emotion that you're trying to convey in a movie better than live action when you do it right, like they did in Spider-Verse. Because the way they did it, you really knew, like, and with all the other stuff that they could add as like pop-ups because it's a fictional movie. Like you knew what emotions were going on, and you could comprehend the movie's emotional side much easier.
Yeah, Kingpin was giant too. They did him perfect. He was
Oh my
this
god, he was a
giant,
scary dude.
humongous piece of human. They did all the Spider-Man stories. It was so good.
And they made a lot of callbacks in the final moments of the movie.
Yeah, it was really good. Go see it.
It was great.
That was worth your.
Oh, and there's 2 really good original original wink cough cough songs for it.
Yeah, and the Easter egg spot with
2099 Spider-Man?
No.
Oh, the Stan Lee cameo?
The Stan Lee cameo.
It was great.
Is very emotional.
And then the Stan Lee thing with the sunglasses at the end is like even like more emotional.
Yeah, it made me sad in the theater actually watching it.
Yeah.
But it was good to see. What else Destiny got inducted into the National Honor Society.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, we went and we watched that.
It's hard to get into stuff like that. You have to keep a pretty good grade throughout.
Yeah, it's got to be over 85. That's pretty good. Is that better than you?
Over 85?
Yeah, overall.
My only grade that's like under 85 is bad, but that's mostly based on going.
Yeah, maybe we should try and go to band once or twice.
The situation with lunch and passes is really discouraging though, because like you lose your pass, you put your pass in something that you don't think you're gonna lose, then you lose that. So
you seem to have a lot of problem losing stuff, dude.
It's a little pass. It's like this big. It's maybe 2 inches by like 3 inches.
What about your pocket?
In my pocket, I'll forget it in my pocket, and it'll get washed and all ruined. It's a tough thing. I don't know.
It's not that tough as a piece of paper to go somewhere.
It's a laminated piece of paper, too.
Someday you're going to have to carry a license with you everywhere you go and not lose it. And a bank card.
That's in a wallet. And a wallet is big and fat.
Get a wallet and put it in your wallet.
Okay. That's actually a really good idea.
Problem solved.
Yeah.
Just ask the dumb white guy. I'll figure it out for you. We were just watching some Chappelle show, so we were saying a bunch of funny stuff, and Forrest is scared I'm going to say something racist right now.
I think Mom's more scared.
Yeah, Mom's definitely more scared. Actually, this show was from 2014, and all the stuff they're talking about.
2016 if it was 2 years ago?
Oh, yeah, 2016 was 2 years. I thought it was 2014 on the title, but maybe not.
Something.
Maybe it was just 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Well, it's 2019, so that would make it
2017. Those years, like, blew by. 2017, 2018.
Yeah. A lot of the stuff in the show they talked about was totally unacceptable to talk about today.
Oh, my God. Some of this, like, I only caught, like, the last... 15 20 minutes, and it was hilarious.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. It's good stuff. It's probably not age appropriate for you, but
I mean, he let his 12-year-old son watch Kevin Hart.
Yeah,
which is probably much worse.
Maybe not. I don't know. We're pretty liberal with what we let you watch.
Yeah.
I've actually seen most of that skit before because it's just like his other show actually. But I thought it was really really good, and it was like.
Oh, I watched the thing
almost
about
educational.
I watched the thing about Joe Rogan pyramids too that you had me watch. That was funny.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. I really like that one.
De-evolving humans.
The de-evolving humans outbred the regular humans outbred.
Mm-hmm.
So there's only dumb people left, and that's why they don't know what happened to the pyramids.
He was high when he didn't. He's probably joking, but I think that theory is actually better than the really out there theory that aliens made it.
Yeah.
Like, it actually almost makes sense.
Do you know that Cleopatra is closer to the invention of the cellular phone than she was to the invention of the pyramids?
Yeah, because she was like one of the last.
Yeah, but that's crazy.
Leaders.
Right? Think
Not
about
really.
it.
Like the Egyptian. Are you talking about the speed of technological advances?
No. Like, she's closer to the invention of the cell phone than she was to the...
Honestly, I'm not all that surprised. Because, like, the pyramids of Giza were made hundreds of years before her. And, I mean, it only really took another 2,000-3,000 years for us to figure out phones. So, I mean, the Egyptians, like, lasted thousands and thousands of years. They were one of the most sturdy civilizations in the entire world. Like ancient Greek and ancient Rome level, they were like a crazy civilization. They survived for a long time.
Actually, I'm not sure that's true. I just brought it up on Google, and Cleopatra was born in 69 BC,
which is
before Christ. So that's like 2,000 years ago. 2019 years ago. Well, more.
2000, like close to 2,100 years ago.
Yeah.
But then the pyramids of Giza pop up like, I don't know. It's pretty close, probably.
I don't looking up right now. How do you spell Egypt?
EYGPT, I think.
Egypt pyramids.
Did I spell that right?
I don't know.
I think I might have gotten the placement of the G and the Y mixed up.
Oh my God, they were born. No, that's right.
Yeah.
Because the Egyptian pyramids were built 2640 BC.
Well, what pyramids? Because there are a lot of pyramids.
The first Egyptian pyramid is believed to be the pyramid of Djoser, which it was built in Saqqara around 46,050 years ago. 2640 BC.
Oh, yeah, so the first yeah, that makes sense.
That's crazy, dude.
No, really. It's like our civilization in
It's like 40. Oh my God, that's so far long ago.
Yeah, but like we're from Europe and that civilization has lasted for almost 1,000-something years. I mean, it's kind of hard to kill off an entire civilization within the course of a few thousand within the course of like 2,500 years.
Yeah, I'm looking up Europe now.
When was That's probably a hard question to phrase correctly,
Yeah.
right?
When was Europe?
England, because we probably came from England.
When was Europe established? 1950s. That's not what I'm really looking for.
The continent itself probably all came together by 1950.
History of Europe timeline. History of Europe, Wikipedia.
Are you just looking stuff up?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
We might have to cut this one down if it takes too long to research.
Shit, we don't cut this one. This one's free-flowing. It never stops. 7,000 BC. No, starting at 4,000 BC, Europe started.
No, they probably mean like ancient Roman, like. I'm sure England has been around since around like 5. Yeah, it's been since the Middle Ages started around like 500? No, not 500.
No.
I'm pretty sure Europe started around 500 AD, which would make our civilization about 1,500 years old.
No. The period known as Classic Antiquity began with the emergence of the city-states of ancient Greece, after ultimately checking the Persian advance in Europe through Greco-Persian wars in the 5th century BC. So it's 500 years BC. So
I mean that's like as long as the Egyptians. That's like 2,500 years.
yeah, they were 4650 BC.
Yeah, but they died much. Yeah, but we're about halfway there.
Shh, we're not halfway there.
We're
was like 1800, dude. We're in America.
I know, but we came from England, so the roots of the civilizations that at least you came from were from like they started all the way back then. Probably aren't from ancient Greece.
How do you know? I never did 21andMe. I could be from anywhere.
Do you think 20andMe? Here's a question: do you think 23andMe and Ancestry can like go back that far into like?
I'm pretty sure it's 21andMe, but
23andMe because you have 23 chromosomes, right?
I have no idea. I thought it was because of the age.
No, it's about the chromosomes in your body.
I'll look it up. I don't know.
What? I hope it's 23andMe.
We're all about Google tonight, folks.
Yeah, you should name this episode Google and Spiderverse spoiler warning.
23andMe. You're right, 23andMe DNA.
Yes.
You're so smart. Stupid smart kid.
Those commercials pop up all the time.
Yeah, I don't know. I've actually never even seen one.
What do you
know of.
I have a question. How much time do we have left?
I don't know. Whatever time you want to talk. It's
All right.
10:30.
What do you think about us taking like our equality and correctness too far? Like, do you think feminism has gone too far?
I'm gonna plead the fifth on this one because I want to make Mom mad.
What?
I said I'm gonna plead the fifth on this one because I want to make Mom mad. I think we're way, way over politically correct about so many things.
I feel like we don't have any like creative freedom, and we're always in fear. I don't feel like that's a healthy way for a civilization to live.
It's not very healthy, and we don't want to be like overtly offensive, but sometimes you need to be offensive, and sometimes offensive ideas are right, sometimes they're wrong.
I think also the fear that we create with all of our
That sounded terrible. I don't mean like that racism is like okay.
Good, but like
sometimes it's offensive to be right? To believe
Yeah.
in something.
Did you watch the Gillette ad?
I have not seen a Gillette ad yet.
You should watch the whole Gillette ad.
Yeah.
It's some of it is stupid, some of it I agree with, the examples that they put in there. But I mean, some of it is just being a wuss, turning people into wusses.
Yeah, there's definitely an attack on being a strong male
Yeah.
in today's society. I think there's also an attack on morals. People don't want you to be a good person and stand up for your rights and what's right.
I don't think we'll ever have gender equality because there'll always be one gender ahead. We'll have extreme feminism, and maybe females will have more rights than men someday. And then the men's rights activists will actually gain some momentum and it'll switch again. So I don't think we may get in the middle for like a little while, but I think it just fluctuates too much to maintain gender equality with the way that if we continue to live and treat feminism and masculinity the same way as we do now.
I think it's going to switch. I think at some time we'll find an even road. I mean, really, men and women only been working together for like 40 years or so.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's going to balance itself out.
I think also that you can't, some of the things that people are arguing over, you can't really make equal because we're just built different. And I think I don't want to make it sound like women and men can only do certain things, but I feel like males and females have different roles. Like, I don't mean that women can have jobs as well, but like sometimes it's taken to the extreme, and like it kind of sounds like a little stupid, but I don't know if I really agree with male cheerleaders. That just doesn't seem like, as a joke, sure, but I don't really see why male like, you could have a male dancing performance, but like I think there are some things that need to be gender exclusive.
What about for female sports? Why can't you have male cheerleaders?
Because it's just, when you think of cheerleaders, do you think of males or females?
I refuse to answer that question on account I don't want to incriminate myself.
But seriously though, I think that there needs to be, you can have male cheerleaders in a sense. I just don't think that calling them male cheerleaders is the right thing.
I think really though, mostly the male cheerleaders hold up the female cheerleaders, and they're probably looking up their dresses. Them dirty guys.
That's another issue. This is another issue. Like,
I think you want to listen to me and Mom talk too much. You're starting to sound like us.
It's just not fair.
I think in 10 years, when you sit back, you're going to be able to sit back and reassess what you think about everything.
Yeah.
I think it's, like, I don't think you're really old enough to really understand everything that's going on yet. Mm-hmm. And don't listen to whatever you hear about what everyone says. Make your own opinions. I know me and Mom are pretty vociferous on this topic. We both have very strong ideas about it.
Yeah.
Mom is definitely a feminist, and I don't know. I think
well, let's clear up what you mean by feminist, because these days feminist can mean some crazy white lady tearing down abortion signs.
Why she gotta be white?
That's just a stereotype.
Why you gotta be stereotyping?
Because most
Dude, you're gonna
stereotypes
get yourself doxxed.
All
People are gonna dox you right now. You know?
But when you think of extreme feminism, what do you think of? What kind of person do you think of?
I refuse to answer that question under the grounds I don't want to incriminate myself.
See, like, when you think of extreme feminism, that's the person that you think about. But like, that's not every feminist. Like, we just heard Dave Chappelle call himself a feminist. I think a real feminist is somebody who's not crazy. Somebody of any race, any gender, somebody who just thinks that women should have more rights. And I think it's as simple as that. I don't think... I saw this video where it said top 10 people getting triggered. And this lady with a Burger King shirt on, just saying, said...
What are you saying, Burger King's racist?
No. But
Are you saying Burger King food rots your brain?
No, I'm not saying any of that. It's just kind of a joke thing.
I'm just joking with you.
But she was tearing down these guys' abortion signs, which is just robbing them. It's robbing them of their freedom to.
They were for abortion or against abortion?
I don't know, but something about
it matters for the story. Matters for
no,
the
it doesn't
story.
because
that sounded terrible.
Because we'll get to something that just Anywho, so this lady was tearing down their abortion signs. They were caking them, and she said that she said a bunch of nasty stuff, like how they were misogynist and stuff, which they weren't. I mean, they were just voicing their opinion.
Were they anti-abortion?
I don't know. But at the end of the video, well, at the end of her actually being on the street arguing with this guy, because she goes into a bus, but at the end of this argument on the street, she says no uterus, no right to talk about it, and that stuck with me. I know it's kind of just a video for entertainment of people getting angry at other people, but I mean, that seems very extreme, right? No uterus, no right to talk about it.
I don't know. Now you're talking about a huge debate that's raging everywhere, and
because if men can't talk about feminism,
it's not about feminism. It's about abortion. That's what the whole thing's about.
I know, but like, if you can't talk about a woman's rights and a woman's no uterus, no right to talk about it just doesn't seem correct. If two genders can't, if you don't have both genders talking about one subject that's based on one gender, you'll never reach equality.
Let me
and you'll never reach a common place between two genders.
Let me play devil's advocate, and this is really how you should. Okay, so what I'm going to say is not really totally my feelings, but I'm going to play the other side of what you're saying right now. And I want you to, when you are thinking about something that gets you triggered or angry, I want you to really, really think about both sides of the story. So, for the feminist point of view, abortion is a very personal thing about a woman's body, right? Do you have a uterus?
No.
Have you ever had a baby?
No.
So can you really understand what it feels like to actually be pregnant or deal with something or have a pregnancy you don't want? Or how would you feel if some man that doesn't have a uterus, who've always been running everything, because that's, typically in history, men have run the government, and they decide whether there's abortion or not abortion up until maybe like 20 years ago, right? 15, I don't even know when women
20
started.
years ago was around 1999, so yeah, about then.
Even before that, I'm sorry. Like, my 20 years ago still seems like 1970 or 80. That's what happens when you get older. 20 years ago seems like a lot.
So you mean like 1980 pretty much?
Like, yeah, the 80s and 90s, really. It's been all men in government telling women that they can or can't do something with their bodies that only women have, right?
Yeah.
It'd be like a doctor telling you can't get your balls fixed if your balls were hurt or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah,
it's different. So that's why it's a very feminist topic.
I know, but
now, as far as a birth, I do believe it's between two parents, and that's a discussion that should be had between men and females. But you need to understand what the female perspective is, and they feel like they've been oppressed for hundreds or thousands of years.
But,
and go ahead.
I also think that a new point, because if you never take a new point of view in, which they're also doing, I mean, obviously I wasn't thinking that deep about it, but it just stuck with me. But when you say that, I mean, both me and that woman are playing the same side, just on opposite sides.
Right.
She's not seeing their point of view, because their point of view is whatever they were saying about abortion, but she can only see her point of view about abortion. So me and her are doing the same thing, basically, which is bad. So I think a new point of view needs to be taken in by both of us, so we can be two intellectuals having a conversation about something, and so that we can come to an agreement and we can find a solution to this problem.
Right, for sure. And that's something I just want you to think about when you're arguing, because you have a very big tendency to go one side or the other in an argument and not look at both sides. And it's been getting worse and worse and worse. And I think listening to YouTube might have some bearing on that, actually. Because
you have extreme on one side and another.
Social media is a huge thing. And
it's pretty one-sided a lot of the times.
Like, I'm listening to a great podcast today. Actually, I finished listening to it, Joe Rogan. He had on, I forget the guy's name right now, but it was the one I was listening to.
It was the one about the guy in the Arctic, right?
No, that was the one before that. And they're talking about how social media on like Twitter and all these other different platforms are being engineered to make people pick one side or the other because angry responses elicit more clicks,
Yeah.
which elicit more money. So people are getting into one-sided angry arguments more and more and more and more because of the way social media is. And I just want you to realize that there's two sides to every story, and usually some very intelligent people can have one side and be closed-minded to everything. So if someone you think is a decent human being has a weird opinion about something, there's usually a reason or two for it. Not everyone is like super crazy.
Yeah.
And I think you're getting a really, really bad
habit of
not a really bad habit. I was going back to feminism for a second. I think you're getting a really very left and feminist idea. The extreme feminist is what you're going to see that are triggering people, right?
yeah.
But feminism itself is somewhere in the middle between there and like mom was a feminist. I would consider her.
Yeah, but
She's
you
all
wouldn't
about
consider
feminist
her an
topics.
extreme feminist,
I wouldn't
right?
consider her extreme feminist, but I would still say feminist.
Yeah.
When I said feminist earlier, you immediately went to the example of this crazy lady.
Yeah,
who is a
I
crazy
wanted
lady.
you to clarify what you meant, though, because a lot of the time, like you said, you see all that. So I just wanted to make sure mom didn't get angry, and I wanted to make sure like
No, I definitely
people knew like we weren't saying that she's crazy. Right?
Whenever I when I say a liberal, I mean a pretty left-sided person. When I say leftist, I'd say like a left person. A rightist would be like a crazy guy on the other side, and then a conservative be like a normal Republican like Grandpa, and then
Like who?
like Grandpa. Grandpa would be a Republican.
Oh.
Mr. Mustafa was a Republican for a long time. I think he still is. I mean, it's tough because both parties are so crazy. You want to be in the middle.
Like that's another topic for another
Yeah,
day.
this turned into a hugely deep podcast. I wanted to have be mostly about family and the Spiderverse, but it definitely
it's a good podcast.
Yeah, it's probably good.
It's a good prize for waiting so long.
If you ever running for governor in like 50 years, they're gonna play this back and they're gonna be like, "Listen, he was such a misogynistic bastard when he was 12." But yeah, like for real.
I know, but I mean that's.
But I think these are all good discussions that we should be having.
Yeah.
And sometimes I get a little bit worried about you because you're very influenced by what you see and what you hear, and I really want you to always take a step back from I don't know, I guess the media you're plugged into, or even me or mom, and sit back and try and look at both sides of the argument. And I don't know, I think that's the way to solve problems. And then, like, I'm not saying that your opinion has to be in the middle. You could be far to the other side, right? If it's something you think is wrong, like, I don't know, it violates one of your morals, and you want to be far on the right side of it, like, this is what I think is right, and you people are totally wrong, that's fine too, because you should definitely not be afraid to speak up for what you believe.
But you should always see what.
But you should also realize what the other people are arguing with you against. And sometimes you're going to have a difference of opinion that comes down to morals. And that's okay. It's okay to be completely different because of what you believe. But it's not okay to not see what the other person is saying, because we're all people.
Yeah.
Right? And we all have different points of view, and our points of view are shaped by how we're raised and how we live. And even like the day we had at work sometimes can change how you feel about everything, like if you're having a really crappy day and everyone's beating down on you, sometimes you're going to feel different on topic than you would be if you're having the best day ever.
Yeah.
So definitely try and see both sides of every argument.
So on that note, on the very off chance that any of those people in that situation see this, like, we don't mean anything bad about you. And as we just said, I mean, you could have had...
Unless that you're the uterus lady, Force hates you. Force wants to kick you.
I mean her too. Like, we don't mean anything bad about you. And if you don't like it, you don't like it. But like we just said, I mean, there's a lot of things that can influence your opinion. And, I mean, you got to be fine with what other people think.
I agree. It's a big problem in society today.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Got anything else? Hopefully we'll get Destiny on.
Yeah.
I
Good family podcast.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about her a lot and her accomplishment.
Yeah.
Because she had a really tough time.
We can dedicate another podcast to that, just that by itself.
Yeah, maybe we should do that. Maybe we can get her on and do a good one.
Yeah.
Sorry, Dee. We were going to try and make this one about you, but it got way off kilter because Forrest watched some stuff on YouTube. We had to set his mind right.
It was another deep podcast, though.
Oh, I do also want to talk about YouTube real quick, as long as we're talking about YouTube.
Yeah.
You need to manage your time much better.
I know.
That means shutting off from YouTube.
Yeah.
And like, you used to watch a bunch of educational stuff and listen to podcasts. Now you're watching like crazy stuff.
Yeah.
You're over there laughing. It's not even educational anymore, all right?
Uh-huh.
Like, I didn't have too much of a problem with it when you're listening to stuff that's at least making you think. But you're watching like trigger videos. You're watching people blow stuff up. Like, it's all cool stuff, right? But that's not school stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Get your school stuff done. Spend your time on YouTube doing what you want. All right.
Yeah.
I don't want to have to unplug you from, being able to do stuff. And I will if I have to, because I think it's important that you get your homework done. And I'd like to have these talks with you every now and then.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we haven't talked in forever. I just want to make sure we take this time and still talk with each other.
Yep.
And it seems like the only way to do it is to sit in front of a mic and do it sometimes with you. But
It's a good way to get us going.
Yeah.
We get deep.
Mm-hmm. I definitely love you, man.
Love you too.
All right. It was a good one.
Yeah.
All right. Hopefully I changed your life view a little bit. And if not, I'll keep punching you until you figure it out. All right. With that, Caveman's crew, we're out of here from the North Buffalo Studios in my mom's basement. Tripper's farts. We're all here today.
I didn't smell any.
No, I'm just kidding. We didn't mention Tripper once in the podcast, and he's been sitting here the whole time.
But when he does fart, ooh boy.
Yeah, ooh boy. All right, we're out of here.